6 hours a day, writing content, making $0. That was me 14 months ago, hunched over a laptop, churning out blog posts, LinkedIn threads, and newsletters that nobody read and nobody paid for. And the wild part? I was using AI tools the whole time. ChatGPT, Jasper, you name it. But I was actually getting slower. More tabs, more prompting, more editing, less output that mattered. Then McKinsey dropped a report confirming exactly why. And that report changed how I built everything. If you're a freelancer, solo builder, or early-stage operator trying to turn your content work into actual recurring revenue, this video is specifically for you. Not for agencies, not for funded startups, for the one-person shop that needs to produce at scale without hiring a team. I'm going to show you the exact 3-tool stack I use, the workflow that runs it, and the numbers behind $4,000 a month in under 10 hours a week. Here's the thing McKinsey actually found, and this is the part that surprised me. Their 2025 AI productivity report said the payoff from AI is real, but it's conditional. Conditional on how you measure it. Most people are measuring AI productivity. How fast can I write a draft? How many words per hour? But the report says you should be measuring AI outcomes. Revenue generated, clients retained, hours freed. That's a completely different question, and it's why most solo creators using AI are still broke. So let me give you the real numbers first, because context matters. The generative AI content creation market hit $19.75 billion in 2025. It's projected to reach $143 billion by 2035. HubSpot's 2025 State of AI Marketing Report found that 78% of businesses now use AI in content creation, up from just 23% in 2021. And here's the kicker. Marketers using AI are 25% more likely to report success with their content. The market is there. The demand is there. The question is, are you capturing any of it? And here's the open loop I want you to hold in your head for this entire video. There's a specific reason why using more AI tools makes most people slower and poorer, and it comes down to one architectural mistake almost every solo builder makes when they set up their content workflow. I'll show you exactly what that mistake is in Chapter 3. But first, let me show you what the actual revenue model looks like, because without understanding that, the tools don't make sense. Chapter 1. The revenue model. How does a solo content engine actually make $4,000 a month? There are basically 3 paths. Path 1. You sell content as a service. You run a retainer for 2 or 3 clients, producing their blog posts, newsletters, and LinkedIn content every month. Retainers in this space run anywhere from $1,500 to $8,000 per client, depending on volume and niche. I personally run 2 clients at $2,000 each. That's $4,000 right there. Path 2. You build an audience and monetize it directly through sponsorships or digital products. Path 3. You combine both. I went with Path 1 first because it's the fastest to revenue. No audience required. No waiting 6 months for SEO to kick in. You find 2 clients, you deliver content, you get paid. And with AI handling the production, your margin is insane. We're talking 60 to 80% operating margin on a content retainer when you've got the right system. A real SEO agency called House of Growth doubled their article volume from 80 to 160 pieces per month without adding a single team member, just by plugging AI into their outline and research workflow. That's the model. Now, Chapter 2. Why most AI content workflows fail. And this is where I need to be honest with you, because I made every one of these mistakes. Mistake number 1. Using AI as a replacement for strategy. You open ChatGPT, you type, "Write me a blog post about productivity," and you get something. It's fine. It's generic. It doesn't rank. It doesn't convert. Nobody shares it. That's not an AI problem. That's a strategy problem. The AI is only as good as the brief you give it. Mistake number 2. Tool overload. I had 7 AI subscriptions running at once. Jasper, Copy.ai, WriteSonic, Surfer SEO, Phrase, ChatGPT, Claude. I was paying over $300 a month and spending more time switching between tabs than actually producing. This is the architectural mistake I mentioned earlier. More tools doesn't mean more output. It means more cognitive switching cost. A 2025 study on AI adoption found that the productivity gains disappear almost entirely when workers use more than 3 AI tools simultaneously. 3 is the ceiling. Pick your 3 and commit. Mistake number 3, and this one is subtle, is measuring the wrong output. You write 20 pieces of content in a week and feel productive. But if none of those pieces are tied to a client deliverable, a ranking keyword, or a monetization event, you've produced noise. McKinsey's report frames it perfectly. Stop measuring AI productivity, start measuring AI outcomes. Every piece of content you produce should map to one of three things: a client deliverable, an SEO target, or an audience growth lever. If it doesn't map to one of those, don't make it. Okay, so that's the problem landscape. Now let's get into the actual system. Chapter 3, the 3-tool stack. I want to be really specific here because vague tool recommendations are useless. The stack is Perplexity AI for research and ideation, Claude for drafting and editing, and Make.com, formerly Integromat, for automation and delivery. That's it. Under $200 a month total. And together, they handle about 80% of the production work on a content retainer. Tool 1, Perplexity AI. Here's why I use Perplexity instead of ChatGPT for research. It cites its sources in real time. When I'm building a content brief for a client in, say, the fintech space, I need accurate, current data points. Perplexity pulls from live web results and shows me exactly where every claim comes from. I can verify it in 30 seconds. ChatGPT, even with browsing, still hallucinates citations at a rate that makes it unreliable for client-facing research. Perplexity's Pro plan is $20 a month. I use it to generate three things: topic clusters, competitor gap analysis, and data-backed content briefs. Here's exactly how I use Perplexity for a client brief. I open a new thread and I give it a structured prompt, something like, "You are a content strategist for a B2B SaaS company targeting HR managers. Identify the top 5 underserved content topics in the HR tech space right now, with supporting data and competitor gaps." Perplexity comes back with sourced, current information. I take that output, I paste it into a brief template I've built in Notion, and that brief becomes the foundation for every piece Claude writes. The brief is the secret weapon, not the AI. Tool 2. Claude, specifically Claude 3.5 Sonnet or the Opus tier, depending on the task. I switched from ChatGPT to Claude for drafting about 8 months ago, and the quality difference on long-form content is significant. Claude handles nuance better, it follows complex multi-part instructions more reliably, and it doesn't add that weird AI-ish filler language that makes content feel robotic. The thing I do that most people skip. I give Claude a style guide for each client. A document that says, here's their tone, here are phrases they never use, here are 3 examples of content they love. Claude absorbs that, and the drafts come out 80% ready on the first pass. Let me give you the actual prompt structure I use for a 2,000-word client article. It has 4 parts. Part 1, role assignment. You are a senior content writer for client name, a niche company. Part 2, the brief. I paste in the Perplexity output. Part 3, format instructions, word count, heading structure, CTA placement. Part 4, style constraints, pulled from the client style guide. That 4-part prompt structure consistently produces drafts that need less than 20 minutes of editing. Before I had this structure, I was spending 2 to 3 hours editing every single piece. That's the time savings that makes the math work. Tool 3, Make.com. This is where the engine part of Content Engine actually comes from. Make is a no-code automation platform. Think of it like Zapier, but with way more flexibility and a lower price point. I use Make to connect the entire workflow so that once I've approved a final draft in Notion, it automatically formats and sends to the client's CMS, logs the deliverable in a shared Airtable tracker, and fires off a Slack notification to the client. No manual handoff. No email threads. The client sees the content appear in their system, and they feel like they have a full content team, even though it's just me. Here's the second open loop I want to close. Remember when I said most AI users are getting slower? The reason is they're doing manual handoffs between every tool. Research in one tab, drafting in another, editing in a third, then copy-pasting into a Google Doc, then emailing it to the client. Every one of those handoffs is a context switch that costs you 10 to 15 minutes. Make eliminates all of that. Once I built the automation, my per article time dropped from about 4 hours to under 90 minutes, including research, drafting, editing, and delivery. That's the multiplier. Chapter 4. The weekly operating rhythm. Because a tool stack without a schedule is just expensive software. Here's my actual week. Monday, 1 hour. I use Perplexity to pull the content calendar for both clients. I confirm topics, generate briefs, and load them into Notion. Tuesday and Wednesday, 4 hours total, 2 per client. I run Claude drafts using the 4-part prompt structure, do my editing pass, and mark pieces as ready for review in the shared Airtable. Thursday, 1 hour. Client review window. Any feedback comes in, I do a quick revision pass. Friday, 30 minutes. Make handles the final delivery automatically. I just confirm it went through. That's 6.5 hours a week, for $4,000 a month. Now, I want to be real with you. It didn't start at 6.5 hours. The first month, building the automations and the style guides and the brief templates took about 20 hours. Month 2 dropped to 12. By month 3, I was at the rhythm I just described. The upfront investment in the system is what makes the ongoing operation light. This is the part most people skip because they want the shortcut, but the shortcut is building the system once. Chapter 5. How to land the first client. Because the system is useless without revenue coming in. Here's what worked for me. I didn't cold email. I didn't run ads. I posted a specific type of content on LinkedIn for 30 days, case study breakdowns. I take a public brand's content strategy, analyze it, and post my take. Here's why brand's newsletter converts at 3 times the industry average, and the 3 things any B2B company can steal from it. That format demonstrates expertise without claiming it. Within 30 days, 2 inbound leads came in. I closed both at $2,000 a month. The pitch itself is simple. I don't sell AI content. I sell outcomes. My pitch was, I'll deliver 8 long-form articles per month, fully researched and formatted for your CMS, in 30 days, or you don't pay. That's a risk reversal offer. It works because most content agencies take 2 to 3 weeks just to onboard. I can start producing in 48 hours because the system is already built. The client doesn't care how the sausage is made. They care that the articles show up, they're good, and they don't have to manage anyone. Let's talk about the economics one more time because I want this to be crystal clear. 2 clients at $2,000 each for $1,000 per month gross. Tool costs. Perplexity Pro at $20, Claude Pro at $20. Make it $16, Notion free tier, Airtable free tier. Total tool spend, $56 a month. For 1,000 minus 56 equals $3,944. That's a 98.6% gross margin on the tool cost alone. Even if you factor in your time at $100 an hour, 6.5 hours a week, roughly 26 hours a month, you're still clearing $3,344 for 26 hours of work. That's $128 an hour. And here's where it gets interesting if you want to scale. HubSpot's data shows content output volume can increase by 77% within 6 months of AI implementation, with an average production cost reduction of 42% across formats. Which means, if you take on a 3rd client at $2,000, your tool costs barely move. The system already exists. You're just running more content through the same pipeline. 3 clients gets you to $6,000 a month. For clients, $8,000. At that point, you might hire a part-time editor, but your margin is still massive. Now, what about quality? This is the objection I get every time. Won't clients notice it's AI written? Honestly, they notice when it's bad AI writing. They don't notice when it's good. The difference is the brief and the editing pass. I spend 20 minutes on every article doing 3 things. Adding one specific data point from Perplexity that Claude didn't include, rewriting the intro in the client's actual voice, and checking that every section has a clear takeaway. Those 3 edits are what make the content feel human. The AI does the structure and the bulk. You do the soul. Chapter 6. The one thing to do today. Not this week. Today, open Perplexity AI. Free tier is fine to start, and run this exact search. What are the top 5 underserved content topics in your target niche right now with supporting data? Take the output. Build one sample article using Claude with the 4-part prompt structure I described. Publish it somewhere. LinkedIn, Substack, your own site. That's your proof of concept. That one piece is your portfolio. That one piece is what you show the first client. You don't need a website. You don't need a brand. You need one piece of great content and a clear offer. Look, the market data is not subtle here. 94% of marketers plan to use AI in content creation by 2026. That means every business that isn't already doing this is going to need someone to help them do it. And they'd rather hire a solo operator with a proven system than figure it out themselves. That's the window. It's open right now. Solo founders like Peter Levels are doing $3.5 million a year with 0 employees. Danny Postma built Headshot Pro to $3.6 million ARR alone. The infrastructure exists. The demand exists. The only variable is whether you build the system. So let me recap the whole system in plain English. You use Perplexity to find what content actually needs to exist in your client's niche. You use Claude with a structured 4-part prompt and a client style guide to draft it fast and clean. You use Make to automate the delivery so you never do a manual handoff. You charge $2,000 per client per month. You run 2 clients in 6.5 hours a week. You make $4,000 a month. And you scale by adding 1 client at a time without adding proportional hours. That's the engine. It's not magic, it's a system. In my next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build the Make automation from scratch, no coding, no prior experience, including the specific modules, the triggers, and the error handling that keeps client deliveries from breaking. If you're already running a content retainer and you're still doing manual handoffs, that video is going to save you hours every single week. The link will be in the description the moment it drops. Go build something.